I'm sorry. Hi, and welcome to another episode of 60 and Beyond with Skylark. That's me. And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell to get notified when I upload a new video. And I just want to see if we have anybody on. Okay, so I do this the first Monday of every month. I talk about what is on my mind. It's a new topic each month. My brand is Skylark Live, and I also write a weekly newsletter. My blogs are monthly, and my newsletters are weekly, and I will put the link to the newsletter and my Patreon account under this video when it is live on my channel. It takes a little time sometimes, but I also post it on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, not so much Instagram, but Facebook, LinkedIn. So everything's under Skylark Live. You can find me. And I hope you join my little world here. These vlogs and my newsletter are geared to inspire and motivate typically women over 60 to thrive in older age through knowledge and self-awareness. And tonight I'm going to talk about something that is relevant, but it's a little different than what I typically talk about. But before we do that, I would like to go over my newsletter articles that I wrote in January. I am going to start with December 17th because I had a glitch with my Skylark Live newsletter and didn't do anything the first week of January of the new year of 2025. So I'm going to start with December 17th, and then I will go into January, and then we'll get on with the vlog for tonight. So on the 17th of December, I wrote about the peace and calm of the morning. I love the morning, and I like to rise before the sun is up, even on the weekend. And when it's clear out, I always check outside and see, or out my bay window, and see what the sky is doing. And in January, the sky was really stunning. There were a lot of planets that were visible. They were aligned. We saw them on the Friday night. I think it was the 24th. It was gorgeous. It was very clear that night. And Saturday, the 25th, which was the night that it was supposed to be really, they were all aligning. It was very cloudy, unfortunately. So, but anyway, one morning, I think it was kind of mid-December, late December, I looked out my window and the moon was setting, and it was, oh God, it literally took my breath away. It was one of the most beautiful moon sets or, visions out my window that I had ever seen. And there's a picture of it on my newsletter that you'll see. That's December 17th. So let's skip up to January. Excuse me. Again, I had a glitch. I didn't do the first week of January, but on the 14th of January, I wrote prayers for the Pacific Palisades and the surrounding areas of LA. And that is what my topic is going to be about tonight. There's no place like home. And I just want to share my thoughts on what it means, what home means to me. And I think it probably means the same to you when I get into that in just a couple of minutes. And then on the 22nd of January, I wrote Winter's Sky Show. And I wrote about January and I apologize, and what was going on in the sky in January. And it was really gorgeous. So Happy New Year. I didn't get a chance to say that on my vlog. And then on the 28th, I wrote about the power of wearing high heels over 60. And I really think you're going to enjoy reading that article. It's really cool. I have a little history of the high heel and of the stiletto. I'm 67. I still wear heels almost every day. So I love them. I'm comfortable in them. I think they still look great. I still can walk really just fine in them. not necessarily a stiletto, but something like 2.5 inches, The shoe that's pictured in the article is, I don't have it, but I plan on buying it. It's kind of a high platform sandal. It's really, really cool. So don't be afraid to wear those high heels. They still look great. And they make you stand up straight. They make you walk different. So I think heels have a lot of benefits. And they actually firm your legs. They can give your legs a very nice shape. But don't exercise in them because you'll end up just killing yourself, right? All right, so I'm going to close that and get into a little chat about There's a New Place Like Home. So the movie E.T., you all remember that, right? So it's about a boy named Elliot who befriends a stranded alien named E.T. who is left behind on Earth after his spaceship departs. And Elliot must help E.T. find his way to return to his home planet. And he's trying to do this while evading the government agents who want to capture the alien for study, of course. Their bond grows, as we all know in that film, and they work together to send a signal to E.T.'s home planet. E.T. phone home. An iconic line. So, I was thinking about what it really means. What does home mean on an emotional level, on a spiritual level, on a physical level? And these fires in LA, I don't know how many of you have ever been to, I've never been to Encinita, I believe that's what the name of it, the northern part of the hills that burned. But I've been to the Pacific Palisades in Malibu, and I can tell you that it is just an exquisite place. It has a vibe like no other place. It has a smell. It has a, there's just something so unique about this area. And, it dates back to the 20s. And I mentioned this in my article in my newsletter, so you can read about this as well. When these beautiful homes were built, some of the California bungalows and then some bigger, more elaborate mansions. But the design and the material that was used then, you can't recapture that. It would be, prohibitively expensive now to use those materials. And it just, it wiped out a whole aesthetic of that area, the winding roads. I mean, they can bring all that back. But I hope the developers that are going to go in there and redevelop this neighborhood, these neighborhoods, really consider the essence of this area and what it really means. I mean, one of the people that died, there were 29 deaths, and a lot of them were elderly, that refused to leave their home. They had lived there for 40, some 50 years in the same house. Imagine that. That's a beautiful thing. And they didn't want to leave. They chose to perish with their home or chose to risk their life, thinking maybe they'd get out, but probably they wouldn't. But it was worth staying home in their home because there really is no place like home. And to see this area just completely engulfed. Some of them stayed, some were trapped, some couldn't get out. There was one man who had a leg amputated. He was in a wheelchair. He probably could have gotten himself out if he had to, but he had a son with cerebral palsy that could not walk, and he wasn't going to be able to carry him out, and they both perished. So it's we all know it's like one of the biggest tragedies, natural disasters in American history. And God, I hope it never happens again. There's so much strife all over the world and in our country, but home. So think about what home means to you. It's a sanctuary where we feel safe and comfortable. Safe. When I get in bed at night, I think about that. I think about the day's done. I'm in bed, I'm warm, I'm very comfortable, and I'm safe. That's a beautiful thing. What happens to these people now that have lost everything? Think about how long it takes to create a home. Think about that. You know, I live in an apartment. It feels like a little home because we're on the ground floor. The layout feels like a small house. It really does. It took, I'm here 12 years, and it took that long, I would say 10 years, for it to feel like home. I lived in the city for a very long time, and that really felt like home. And then coming out here, I had to start all over. And like I said, it took a long time, but because I don't own it, it'll never feel like it's totally mine. But when I walk in the door at night after work, I'm home. I'm so grateful to be home. And I usually stay in a place for a very long time. I'm not one to move around a lot. So I think about these people who raise children, and you know, maybe it was their first home after they got married and they raised a family, and they've been there, like I said, for 30, 40, it was one family, 50 years. That's a very long time. And to lose that, you could never recapture that, because now these people are older, so it would take so long to get that feeling back. I find it incredibly devastating. You know, that's why I chose this topic tonight, because I thought, I just need a sip of coffee. I thought home is such a powerful place for all of us. It's our haven. It's where we kick off our shoes and we curl up on the couch and we read a book, or we make our morning coffee, or we have family gatherings around our table. We take time to decorate and make it look the way we want it to look, and maybe we burn incense and we love the smells, and we light candles, and we create a sense of comfort and warmth. So spiritually, the easy interpretation would be to equate our home with the space we live in, right? But a true home has a broader spiritual connotation. It embodies a magical, intangible feeling of coziness and of familiarity that goes far beyond the four walls of our apartment flats or our home. So what it's saying is, it's a feeling that goes beyond those walls. You know, we are a little territorial, so when we are in a place for a while, we kind of think, you know, that's mine. Even if it is an apartment, you know, you feel like it is yours. So I just wanted to take some time, you know, to talk about that and to think about what your home feels like to you, and to all the people that have lost theirs in this terrible, terrible way. You know, home is where the heart is, right? But in this case, these people don't have anything to go back to. So they can't just like go somewhere else and make it their home. You know, a lot of people, like thousands of people, were displaced. And I think about, where are they living? Where did they all go? Are they with friends? Are they with relatives? Are they staying in hotel rooms? Did they just get an apartment? So home is a very sacred place. You know, it's a place that we identify with. You know, think about your childhood home, right? I still think about my childhood home. You think about the decor, the layout, the people that visited there, the events that took place there, the parties. Oh my gosh, my parents used to throw these incredible parties. Our lawn, you know, our backyard, our tree fort, the surrounding neighborhood. So where we grew up is the foundation for our life, no matter how old we get. So think about the power of home. I guess it must be similar for people who grow up in apartments. I'm not sure. Um, because the difference with an apartment is that you don't have a yard. And my home that I grew up in, I so identify with the yard and the community, my neighbors. That's the other point that I wanted to make. That surrounding community, your favorite coffee shop, your favorite deli, your library, your schools, your neighbors, maybe a park that you used to love to walk in. Those are all things that make up your community and your home. So, you can donate to the Red Cross or a number of other organizations, but I donated to the Red Cross because I trust them. I think another one was Salvation Army. A friend of mine said the Salvation Army was great too, and I haven't donated to them, but I've given them money in the past. So every Christmas, I have several organizations that I like to donate to. I don't give a lot. I give 50, 25, like that, because it can get very costly. But I have like 5 organizations that I donate to every year. So Salvation Army, Red Cross, they're really great for natural disasters. So think about, pray for these people who have lost, everything. Even people that lose everything in a local fire. I hear fire engines all the time where I live. There are lots of fires. I'm like, oh my gosh. So be careful. Be careful, be safe, and embrace your home, no matter where it is. And I will see you next month. I will put the links to my Patreon account. You can support me on these both sites, my newsletter or Patreon. You can also subscribe for free if you so choose. But I appreciate any donation. And thank you to my friend Janet, who was very generous. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. So I'll see you next month, and peace and love. And unfortunately, I have to put these on to turn this off. So ciao for now. All right. Take care, everybody.